Like whatever your highest level of peace is, whatever it is, bro, you've built it. You have access to it. You just got to learn how to get it, man. At these brothers. Man, I want to talk about how to get your divine inheritance, bro. How to get to that bag, right? You know, real quick, man, I want to say, man, we putting some stuff together, man, putting a tour together. Going to be hitting some cities, man, having some God talk with my brothers. Of course, there'll be more information coming out on that, man. But of course, you know, Dallas is on the list. St. Louis is on the list. Shout out to Janae. Denver is on the list. Atlanta is on the list. And I know on down the road, I'm going to be connecting with James Cameron out in Scotland. So that'll be on the list. That'll probably be one of the later dates. But look forward to that information coming out, brothers. I definitely want to sit down in small settings with my brothers in different cities and just have some real God talk. Have some real talk, man. The stuff that I can't really say on YouTube, man. And yeah, looking forward to that, brothers. So if you have a city that you want me to hit, definitely put it in the comments, man, or shoot me an email or a text, brothers. But today, man, I want to talk about how to access your divine inheritance. What do you mean, soul? Divine inheritance? Like, you have to understand, brothers, you have to understand that all the things you do, all the things you don't do, you have to understand, man, you have a whole bank account in the spiritual realm that you can draw from at any time. At any time, bro. Like, you have to understand this. You have to understand that, like, when you were growing up, man, and you were in church and the organ was going off and grandmama and them was in the corner dancing and praising God till the whole wig was sideways. You have to understand, man, that the acts that grandma was taking, you know, her praising God in church, her going out and feeding the homeless, her going out and just giving the people in need, her just living a certain kind of life. You got to understand that grandma was building up a whole bank account. But at the same time, man, most of these elderly people in the church were going home, man, barely keeping the lights on, barely keeping food on the table. In other words, pastor was telling them how to come to church. Pastor was telling them how to give 10% of money that they really didn't have. But pastor wasn't telling them how to get it out the mud. He wasn't telling them how to access their divine inheritance. And the reason most of them weren't doing it is because they don't know themselves. They don't know themselves. So all I'm saying, brother, is you have to understand, like all these desires you have, when you say, man, I just want my life to do a certain thing. Like, why won't life pan out? You got to understand, man, you built the bag up. This freedom you want, you've built that lifestyle up. It's there. But you got to know how to access it, right? And the thing is, once you understand how that I'll call that bank account works, it'll make you move different. Because you got to understand this. Every single act that you do or things that you don't do is either adding to that account or taking away from that account. Like, there are some people, man, with spiritual millions in the bank. At the same time, there are some people that live sour in life, that do horrible things, that rob, kill, steal, cheat, slut, whore. They're pretty much in the negative. So once you understand how this works, man, you move different. It makes you want to right every single wrong. Every single wrong in your life, man, you want to make it right because you understand how things are working, right? Like, I can remember, man, and I talked about this before. I can remember, I don't know when this was, man. I guess when I really started doing like the healing to myself. I remember one day, bro, I just either I was calling, emailing, or texting. It was pretty much just emailing and texting women that I dated in my past. Some of them, man, I hadn't talked to maybe in 5-6 years. And I'm sitting in text, and I know they're like, what is he texting me for? I was just like, hey, you know what? I know I ain't talked to you in a decade, but I just wanted to tell you, I apologize for being, in my F-boy season. Like in other words, I want to make that right. I apologize. In other words, I remember in the 3rd grade when I kissed your best friend type stuff, but I was reaching out to everybody, even partners, which I ain't got a lot of men that I've ever crossed, but there was one one partner, man, that I feel like I didn't do him wrong, but I could have done him more justice, man. And I reached out to him. And hell, he was locked up for some other stuff, man. I reached out to him and said, bro, you know what? I could have went harder for you, man. Like I could have stood on business for you. I didn't do you wrong, but I could have looked out for you better, man. And I apologized to him. And I'm gonna tell you this. There's not a single person alive on the planet right now. Not one single person that can go out there and say, you know what? Soul wronged me. Soul wronged me. If they do, they lying. If they say that, I promise they lying. I guarantee you that person won't go live with me and let's talk about it. I don't wrong nobody, bro. I might piss some people off. I might hurt some people's feelings. I might tell you about yourself, but I'm not going to wrong you. I might cut you off. I might distance myself. Soul will never cross you, bro. Because I understand how this world works, man. Like a lot of my freedom, the ability for me to wake up and just scratch my balls for the next 24 hours. It's strictly because of what I put out in this world and the way I treat people. Because I understand that spiritual system, man. I understand the way it works, brother. So soul will never wrong a person. Soul will never lie. Soul will never cheat. Soul will never steal your money. Because I understand how it works. So how do you access that divine inheritance, brother? How do you access it? I'm going to tell you this. You have to understand that life can only give you what you are. Like screw what you're praying for. Screw what you're meditating on. Screw what you went to church and put your all that stuff, man. Screw all that stuff. Life don't care about what you ask for. Life cares about what you are. And there's 1,000,001 quotes that we can quote to back that up. You know, from the James Allens and all that stuff. It can only give you what you are, bro. You can pay 10% tithes for the next 1,000 years and expect some blessing. If you aren't moving in a certain way, but you have no access to that bank, man. In other words, if you lazy, a lot of times people just don't get it out the mud because they lazy, bro. Lazy. When I say lazy, a lot of people want something for nothing. A lot of people want a certain bag and put absolutely no work in it. A lot of people want blessings. A lot of people want healthy relationships, but they aren't putting into themselves. They aren't putting any effort into building projects or building, just sources of income so those blessings can come back to them. Y'all still on that old indoctrinated system of go to church and send it to heaven and then God is going to bestow blessings upon you. Y'all got to get out of that, man. Am I saying that the Most High can't just put something in your place, that kind of came overnight? I'm not saying that can't happen. But a lot of people live their lives thinking that they can go before the altar, say a few words, and hocus pocus, wait on something to come down. That don't work, bro. You have to know how to access that bank account you've built up. And it all comes down to, man, like how are you moving? If you lazy as hell, if you have no ambition, if you have no drive, how do you have no drive? Like how do you have no, and when I say drive, like how do you have nothing on this world that wants you to be better? You don't have any kids that you want to do things for or be an example for? Hell, even if you don't have any kids, you don't want to explore the world. You want to spend the whole 80, 90 years of your life in your little town and seeing the same scenarios over and over. You don't want to do nothing bigger. Like a lot of people just desire shit and lazy as fuck, man. I can't stand lazy people, men and women, that want something with no work. You built a kingdom, but you can't sit on your ass to access it, man. Faith without works ain't shit. It's in your Bible. It's in your Bible, man. You got to fall in love with doing some kind of work to get it, bro. You got to fall in love with doing something, being something. That's why I always lead to the next thing, right? And this is what I'm talking about. I could break this down a lot further, but it'll take a long time, man. Like I put this thing together, man, called the 4 levels of becoming. Those that are in the exit strategies, they have access to that, man. Like you have to understand, when I talk about 4 levels of becoming or 4 levels of accessing this stuff, you have to understand that most people will have an idea, and I break down fully what an idea is, as well as the other steps. A lot of people will have an idea and call it something else. Like a lot of people will call that idea goals and vision and plans and all these things, when really it's just an idea stuck in your mind. So you really have to understand the difference in you having an idea or you actually putting things in place to get that inheritance out the mud, bro. To get it out the mud, man. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject, right? But it all comes down to, like I said, you're not gonna get what you ask for. You're gonna get what you are. That's why I'm always saying, who are you? Where are you going? Because a man can't ask himself those questions and be the same. You can't ask yourself them questions and be the same. Even in the singular truth, man, I said, if a man ever asks himself that question, it'll begin to shatter his old truth. Because once you ask yourself, who am I? Where am I going? It automatically instantly releases you from this, what we'll call matrix, man. Again, that's a whole nother video. I'm not going into that. But when I talk about, you being lazy, you been all this stuff, when I say, who are you? You really have to look at what you're consuming. What are you consuming first? Because what you're consuming will tell you who you are. It'll tell you exactly who you are. I guarantee you this. You go to your Instagram right now and go to that explore page. It'll tell you who you are. If you go to IG and hit that explore page and nothing but big booties come up, If nothing but celebrity gossip news comes up, if nothing but divorce news and all this toxic BS, if that's what comes up, I guarantee that's what your life is going to be full of. I guarantee it. Go to your Google Dropbox. Hit that Dropbox. You're going to have about 10 to 20 items come up. It's going to tell you exactly who you are, bro. You're going to see the hub on there. You're going to see what time do the juke joint close on Saturday nights. You're going to be having directions to the liquor store. You know what I'm saying? It's going to tell you exactly who you are, man. And people will understand who they are and just deny a truth and still go and praise God and God bestow blessings upon me. It's like, I can't. God is saying the system that I built for you can't bestow blessings on you because you aren't moving in a certain way. In other words, you don't know how to access your divine inheritance. You built the kingdom on the back end, but the way you're moving, you don't know how to get it, bro. You don't know how to get it. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful world we live in, man. It's a beautiful world we live in. And when I say that, bro, what I mean is when you finally get to the place where you can just live in a state of love and compassion for all mankind, you will see things that the far majority of people won't see. You just will. You just will. That's a whole nother conversation. But this is one thing right here, right? Even if a person is moving in a certain way, a person understands what I'm saying. They're moving in a certain way. They're conducting themselves a certain way, and they still can't get it out the mud. I'm going to tell you why you can't, bro. I'm going to tell you exactly why you can't. Most people that move in a certain way and still can't get that divine inheritance simply don't have a plan. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying a second ago. A lot of people will have an idea and think that it's something else. In other words, you might be at the water cooler, you might be on lunch break at work, and your partner come up saying he finna open up a restaurant. Man, I'm about to open me up a barbecue joint, bro. And he's speaking about an idea. And you ask him about it, man, he really can't put any wheels to it. He really can't tell you any plans of actions he's taking. He really can't tell you about any spots he's going to look at to lease or buy. He really can't tell you any suppliers he's going to. All he can say is, yeah, I'm about to open up this spot, bro. You talk to him 6 months later. You talk to him a year later. You talk to him 5 years later. Yeah, man, I'm getting ready to open up this spot, bro. A lot of people have ideas and have absolutely no plan. If you don't have no plan, bro, what? Like I always say, I said this in the last few videos, like this world is a video game, bro. It's a simulation. What was the last time you fired up Call of Duty and had no game plan, had no mission? It's like again, man, a lot of good people are building up this spiritual inheritance, but aren't doing what it takes to access it. You gotta have a plan, man. You gotta have steps in order for you to get to that thing. A lot of that is belief. Like, it's easy to have an idea, but if you can't really bottle it up and stand on what you're saying or what you're thinking, you can't put things in play to make it happen, bro. So a lot of it is belief, man. And all I'm saying, man, is a lot of us brothers need to come out of that state of wishful thinking and start moving as we should. Moving as we should, man. Like I'm saying, man, you have a whole bank account set up. You have a whole inheritance that you've built. And if you want to go deeper, man, some of this inheritance you've built up over lifetimes. I'm not gonna go down that road because I don't know what you believe. You built this up over lifetimes, man. It's time you understand how to get that stuff, man. Like, this life you want to live, and everybody's life is different. Some people just want to wake up and be free to be whatever they want to be. Some people want to wake up and travel. Some people want to build happily marriages and family and kids and they own businesses together. Some people want to move out to Timbuktu and live in the woods or live in the desert in a small cabin or in a camper. Like, whatever your highest level of peace is, whatever it is, bro, you've built it. You have access to it. You just got to learn how to get it, man. Shout out to all the people, man, that have joined exit strategies, man. Like, I always talk about the power circle, but when we talk about exit strategies, man, this is my inner circle. And we're just now starting this, man. Again, I have the price it's an early bird price at $497, I believe, while I continue to put all the information in there. But these are the people, man, that will, I guarantee you this. The people that come in the inner circle, and again, you need to get in it before the price goes to regular price, are the people that in the next 2 years, 3 years, 6 months, 5 years, will be living the life they want to live. Like these are the people I'm going to be sharing the recipe with, because these are the people that are saying, you know what, I have an idea. I want to get it out of the mud, soul. So shout out to everybody that's joined the exit strategies, man. I know the last 24 hours, we've had a good number of people to join. We'll be having our very first group call next week, man. So definitely getting the exit strategies before the price goes up is going to pretty much triple, if not more, in the next number of days. So I'll leave some info on that. But brother, I'm telling you this, man. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what side of the tracks you grew up on. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care what country you live in. If you're moving in a certain way, if you're the type person, man, that treats everybody right, if you're the type person, man, that lives in love, and you're actually your brother's keeper, your sister's keeper, you have to understand all that stuff is not all just gone. Like there's no such thing as you just doing something and getting nothing in return. It don't exist. It doesn't exist. Like I said, man, like a lot of us grew up seeing our grandmothers or seeing these elders in the church, and they were just living a righteous life. Bro, they were millionaires. If pastor would have had the knowledge to give them, all of our grandparents that moved in that energy should have been well off, man. We should be living on generational wealth right now. All of us should be. But the only thing we can do, man, is make it right now, so our kids, our grandkids, and our great grandkids are telling stories about us, or telling the stories and hanging old black and white pictures on the wall of us, saying that, you know what like this was the one in our family generation that changed it all. Be that person, brothers. Be that person, sisters. When was the last time you woke up and did exactly what you wanted to do? When was the last time you woke up and said, you know what, I don't know what time it is, I don't know what day it is, but I'm just gonna wake up and be great, be my own version of myself. I'm telling you, brothers, you haven't achieved true freedom until you can wake up and do that. Now, I've been talking about what it feels like to wake up every single day and it feels like Saturday. Now it's time I show you how I got to that point. Now it's time that I'm allowing people to work with me directly. I'm not talking about taking some course and never hearing from me. I'm talking about working with me directly. I'm talking about you networking with the people I'm networked with. I'm talking about you learning exactly what I did to get from corporate America to true freedom. I've been talking about this freedom for so long. I've been saying every day should be Saturday. Now is your time to click this button and learn from me directly. Let me show you the way.